Charlotte area, don't stay at the Days Inn. This is a this is a mess. Okay, anyways, so I just jotted down a couple notes here. I'm gonna quickly go through this and talk about Carowinds with you guys. What a fun park. What a fun, cool theme park that you guys got here in the Carolinas. It was really fun. First off, here we got coasters, coaster selection. And I mean, you guys have like Fury 325, which, again, greatest steel coaster in the world according to freaking Ace and the Golden Ticket Awards or whatever, whoever does it. Is it the best steel coaster? I personally don't think so, but I can see why people love it. It's really fun. Tons of floater air. That drop is wicked when you're going off the top of it. The sense of speed is great. I love like the lime green lighting all over the station and like those like hexagons all around the place. It looks really cool. It rides really well. What a fun coaster. I can see why people love it a lot. Copperhead Strike, fun ass coaster. I mean, this is like the Velocicoaster of the Carolinas almost. Really, it's really exciting. I love how you get hang time on like all the inversions, and then you just get ejector on like every single bunny hill in that thing. It's such a good coaster. And the theming is it's like insane how wealthy. It's almost like a Dollywood coaster, and it exists in like a Cedar Fair park. It doesn't even make sense that it's even there. And we'll get into theming in a little bit, but like that was top notch, unbelievable stuff to see. What else did they have there? Thunder Striker, Intimidator, whatever you want to call it. What's funny is like when waiting in lines, I could hear people talking about the coaster, and everybody still calls it Intimidator. It's like it's like nobody realizes that it's been renamed the Thunder Striker. Nor do I think people want to call it that because Intimidator is such a cool name for a coaster. So like, why would you? I mean, I know they don't want to pay the Earnhardt estate their royalties to call it that. To call it Intimidator and have Dale Earnhardt all over it. But I mean, like Thunder Striker, I mean, but I guess, sure. Oh, you reference the Thunder Road? Who cares? Like, it's so shit. If you want to make a reference to Thunder Road, build a racing coaster and call it like freaking Thunder Strikers, like plural. You know what I mean? Like, this is the first park I've ever gone to where I feel like they genuinely need a racing coaster. And you can't say that about any theme park. Like, I can't think of a single park where they need a racing coaster, but this is one of those few exceptions. And it's crazy that, like, Universal, with their new Epic Universe park, they're doing a racing coaster. The fact that they're doing that before Carowinds is nuts to me. Like, Carowinds needs a racing coaster. Like, it just fits so well with the whole theme of the Carolinas and all of this. What else do we got here? Afterburn, awesome coaster, fun. Any B&M invert's gonna be a good coaster, even if it was rattly. It doesn't matter. I'll take that over something like Flight Deck at Canada's Wonderland or any Vekoma SLC for that matter. You know what I mean? Like, it's cool that that's part of their like big four. And speaking of the big four, I would almost like make it a big five because I almost called it Nightwing. It's freaking not. Well, I guess Cedar Fair owns DC now. They might as well call it Nightwing, but like Nighthawk. It's a fun flying coaster. The operations are horrible on it, but that's just because of how the coaster's designed. It's not designed to have a big throughput to begin with, so of course it's going to be a slow operation. But wow, for the world's first flying roller coaster, it runs so much smoother than you think it would, especially when you look at the track design. It looks like like an SLC. Like, it looks like you're gonna get on that thing, you're gonna be like doing this the whole ride, and you don't. It's like, it's bizarre how like well it runs. Now, after that is where we have the issue with this park, because then it's like you're going from like up here to just down here, because then you got like Hurler, which is like mid to okay. It can be RMC'd, let's be honest. Carolina Cyclone, it sucks. Ricochet, it sucks. Gold Rusher, it's mid. Vortex, the worst fucking coaster I've ever gone on in my life. Am I forgetting anything? See, my head's still like scrambled from freaking getting a brain hemorrhage and all the blood shooting out of my nose all of a sudden. I'm totally forgetting those. I just mentioned nine. There's Flying Cobras, which I didn't get to ride. That's probably a good boomerang, I'm gonna assume. Just from looking at it, I guess. And then you got like three kids coasters, which I mean they all look decent. I mean you got a freaking hang and bang. You got like a kitty wooden coaster and like some other kitty coaster that was shoved so far in the corner that I didn't even see it while I was there. So I'm just gonna assume it's a real thing. I don't know. I didn't go across it, nor did I care to find it. To be fair. So here's the thing with Carowinds. Okay, you got like 4 to 5 good coasters, and it's just the rest of it's kind of totally replaceable. You know what I mean? But that being said, like it feels like if this was your home park, it's still like a solid lineup of coasters. I like to, and again, I love comparing this park to Canada's Wonderland because the parks are so similar like, when you think about it. So you have like this group of really good coasters, like a solid four, and then after that, it's just like the quality dips so much. And it's like if you're a repeat visitor, it's like there's these four coasters you're gonna go on like a lot and re-ride over and over again, and then the rest of these coasters is like it's either you're gonna do it once or you're just like gonna skip it altogether. And I feel like with a park you don't want that. I mean, take in like Busch Gardens, Tampa, or SeaWorld for example. And I'm talking about SeaWorld Orlando. Like you got a bunch of coasters that are so good and it makes you want to ride every single one of them every time you're there. And that includes Scorpion to an extent, even though I've already discussed my displeasure about that on the last vlog. But you have some good coasters there, and like, well, not good. They're all good coasters. The point I'm trying to get at is that a great theme park has so many coasters that you would want to ride over and over again. It's not just like there's these four that are freaking awesome, and then the rest of it's kind of meh. So that's like something that's really like pushing this park back with me. It's like you have the quantity, you don't have the quality. And as everyone knows, quality over quantity all the time. Like, no, it's. But otherwise, like, at least the coasters are good. At least when it comes to the coaster selection, it's better than a park like Canada's Wonderland. It's better than a vast majority of the Six Flags parks out there. Like, like, this collection is amazing. You know what I mean? In comparison to, like, Six Flags. Like what? Like Six Flags over Georgia? Like, come on. You can't tell me that Carowinds has a worse collection than over Georgia. Like, Carowinds curb stomps it easily. You know what I mean? So that's my thing for coasters. Up next here we got other rides. Tons of flat rides, and I didn't go on any of them because I wanted to prioritize all of my time towards the coasters and just getting as many credits as I could today. But they have an awesome selection of flat rides. I mean, I remember seeing Electric Spin. It's a Mondial Top Spin, or Top Scan, I should say. I love Top Scans. Great flat rides. I love that that's a thing there. They have a Zamperla Nebulas. They got an air race. They got, like, one of those, like, freaking, what do you call it? It's like a disco, but the vehicle shaped like a skateboard. Well, in this case, a plane. Which, by the way, great theme. We'll get to the theming in a second. It's a great selection of flat rides. They even have a wind seeker. They have like one of those old school troikas. You got like a Matterhorn. You got an Enterprise which didn't operate all day. You got a drop tower that didn't operate all day. But like it's a great collection. You know what I mean? And good on them for having that. Again, for people who go to this park all the time, they have tons of variety, and that's what you want in a park. So, but the only problem is I bring up the variety, and it actually this gets to my next point. There is not a single freaking water ride in this park. And on hot days like today, you need that. Now, I know they have this water park in the back of the park, which wasn't even open today. But It's like even though you have that, you also got to consider the people who goes to a park and they want to go on a water ride, but they don't want to have to switch into a bathing suit and then go into a water slide and then share water with all these dirty people who, like, you know what I mean? Like, I remember in Canada's Wonderland, they have this water park called Splashworks. And I've been there a couple times. And the amount of times I would go into like the lazy river or something and you'd see like band-aids and things that look like dirt or, God forbid, feces. It's disgusting. Now, if you have like a log flume or like a river rapids ride, which I know they have an abandoned one there, not open anymore for whatever reason, or like just some sort of like a water ride, hell, a splash battle even. Like that would at least add variety and give like people something to cool off on who don't want to have to switch their gear and have to go on water slides. So I think that's like one of the biggest gaps in that park. Like coasters aside, I mean, I'm sure we're all sitting on our armchairs thinking, oh, RMC hurler. They should put a B&M dive coaster. They should put this and that. They really need a good water ride over any of that, in my opinion. That's like the biggest gap in that park. And if they get that, I think it would really help round out things there. All right, up next, food. Ugh, I don't remember the last time I've had like good theme park food. Like maybe the closest was like Voyager's Steakhouse at SeaWorld Orlando. Like I got their ribs, but it was like $30 and you only get like four ribs and they're like kind of dry. I mean, like it's rare. Oops, sorry. It's rare you have like theme park food that's actually like really good. And this food was really good. Like the chicken tenders, like they were really good tenders. Even though I said that Hardee's chicken tenders are kind of better because they kind of are, but like for chicken, they're not dry, they're not crap. I mean, most chicken tenders I've had at theme parks suck. These didn't suck. They were actually pretty decent. And then I ate the mac and cheese, and it was like the best mac and cheese I've ever had in my life. And if I'm saying that about theme park food, then it's good food. Because when you ever go to a theme park, you're like, this is the best anything I've ever had. I mean, like, the only times you ever say it as, like, funnel cake. Like, that's, like, the one exception. But, like, other than that, like, I ate this mac and cheese and it melted in my mouth and it was amazing. Like, this was the best time I've had with theme park food in a very long time. And to bring up my point about food some more, I remember in March, I went to Universal Studios in Florida, and on the second day I went to the actual Studios park, and it was the first day I went to Islands, the better of the two parks. The second day I went to the Studios, and they have this restaurant there called Richter's. And I was like, oh, Richter's must be some great burgers there, right? I bite into this burger and it was disgusting. It was just dry and garbage and cost me $20. The food I had today was like 26 with the drink included, but at least it was good. I'll take that any day of the week. So, good job, Carowinds. You actually had the best theme park food I've had in a very long time. This is the first time I did not hate what I was eating. So, that's amazing. Again, it's a Cedar Fair park, and they're pulling this, like, it surprises me just how, like, premium this park feels. For what it is, it feels so, it's almost like Dollywood. It's like a cheaper Dollywood, but that's not a bad thing. That's a great thing. Because if a park wanted to emulate something, why not emulate Dollywood? Why not put tons of money into the theming and the food and the atmosphere and just make it like feel quality? And that's perfect because my next point is atmosphere. This park is so well themed. I love how every land has like a focus to it. I mean, you go to an area like Carolina Boardwalk and you have all these like boats all over the place and these cool postcard signs, and like every ride fits the theme really well. You have these like it's like surf music in the background. It's so cool. And then next door you got County Fair with like it looks like you're in like it literally looks like you're in a county fair. And you have like just like freaking like what was it? It was like organ music, but all the organ music is playing like current covers, and it was just really cool. And then you go to Blue Ridge Junction and you like see all these like country looking buildings, and got Copperhead Strike in the background with this big like moonshine operation. You got these like rocking chairs you can sit on. There's country music in the background. You hop over to like Aeronautica Landing, and it's like just an airstrip, and you got planes and all this cool stuff. Like, the park is just so well themed, and it really like threw me away. Now, when I came to this park today, I didn't really look at much. Like, I didn't look at much clips of it. I only knew of the coasters, to be completely honest with you. That and like a couple restaurants. But other than that, I didn't really know much about like how the park was themed. So to see it the way it is, just I was shocked. Like, I was like, this is such a well themed theme park. It's beautiful. It's clean. You kind of want to just roam around, just admire it. Like, now, if there's one, like, there's probably like two lands they could really work on. There's that one land with Thunder Striker and Nighthawk. There's really no definitive theme there. I don't know what's going on, but I'm sure that's something that they're already brewing at their like creative studio or wherever they work. I'm sure they're already thinking up something for that area, and it probably won't be long until they like attack that. The other one is I don't know the name of the area off the top of my head. There's no sign that named it, but it's that area with the really cool street that looked like it was something out of the retro '60s. And then you just have Fury 325 over there, like sticking out like a sore thumb, and then you got a Hurler on the other side sticking out like a sore thumb, and like Drop Tower just forgotten about in the corner. And oh, comparison to Canada's Wonderland, you look at the bottom right corner of the park, you got a B&M Giga, a wooden coaster, and a Drop Tower. I'm telling you, the parks are almost exactly the same, but this is way better. Like, this park is awesome. Like, I enjoyed it a lot. And another thing that was awesome, this is my next point over here, operations. If you work at Carowinds and you are watching this right now, pat yourself on the back. Some of the best operations I've ever seen at a park. Like, it felt like every ride crew was trying their best to just haul trains out of the station as fast as possible. And I admire that so much because you don't see that a lot anymore. Unless you're at like Universal or Disney with rides that are built to have a high throughput. Like, otherwise, like, you always do with slow operations. You look at like Busch Gardens Tampa, where like 2 minute dispatches are like normal over there. SeaWorld, like Wonderland, Six Flags, like just all these parks, man. It's like they all move so slow, and Carowinds is like the exception to that. It's like every like ride was like a minute dispatch at most. You barely saw trains stacking. Like, everyone was hauling ass, and it was so impressive. Now, there were a couple exceptions to this rule. I mean, you got, and mostly it came to like design limitations with the coaster. So I'm thinking like Nighthawk, like that coaster with the lay down seats, like it's gonna take forever, and they don't got the dual load stations. So what are they gonna do? You look at like Vortex with their stupid freaking seat setup. It takes them forever to load that thing. Carolina Gold Rusher, where they have this weird quirk to it, where like all the lap bars move down together per car. So the operator has to go to each car and hit a foot lever and then push the bar down so you can like be in it. It's it's so weird. But besides these quirky rides, every ride like they operated them so well. And this is despite the fact that a lot of these rides have extra seat belts. And I'm thinking of like Fury 325, Intimidator, like, you know, like these rides where like you have to put a seat belt on top of the lap bar, which, you know, most other parks they don't do that, but this park does. And despite that, they still crushed it today. So again, if you work at Carowinds and somehow you're seeing this, pat yourself on the back. Great job. Last but not least, I got here attendees. And this is like the people who attend the park, you know, your local visitors. I noticed today that there was a ton of locals, a ton of people from the Carolinas. And I gotta say that compared to like Floridian attendees, these guys are so well behaved. Like they don't shout profanities all the time. They don't like try to cue hop you all the time. I noticed they're like really like behave to the point where it's like they literally wait for an operate like some sort of ride attendant to tell them to go into a line. So if it's one of those rides where you kind of just go in yourself, they just don't move, which is bizarre to me. So like you see an empty seat and they're just waiting there because they don't know what to do. It's weird, but I also kind of appreciate how like behaved they are. Now, I did see a couple people here there vaping in the lines, which I mean, was have your opinions on that. But I mean, if you're gonna do that stuff, find a corner of the park and where no one goes there, do it there. You know what I mean? Like, don't do it in a line full of people. That doesn't make sense. But other than that, like, great attendees, great people all around. I mean, people of the Carolinas know how to behave in a theme park, and it's fun. You know what I mean? So all around, I think this is honestly a fantastic theme park. I mean, if you've not gone to Carowinds, go. I mean, like when I originally planned this trip, I thought there was like a 3-day gap in my work schedule, and I was like, all right, let's go to a theme park. Let's go to one I've never gone before. I was originally thinking Dollywood, but it was a really expensive trip, so I just chose not to do that. I was thinking Six Flags over Georgia, which I've technically gone to that theme park before, like as a kid. So it wouldn't have been a new park necessarily, but been a lot of new credits. But like, apparently most of the coasters aren't even open right now anyways until like later this spring. So I was like, that's a waste of time. So I just chose Carowinds on a whim. Like, I booked this vacation like a week ago, and I just did it because I felt like it. And I was surprised with how much I enjoyed the park. I didn't think I would have liked it as much as I did. Like, it really like impressed me in ways I didn't expect. It might have not been the coasters necessarily. Some of them are in my top 10 now, like Copperhead, Strike, Fury 325. Those are in my top 10 now easily. But it's the things outside of that, the atmosphere, the food, the operations. It's a fun theme park. It's a fun regional theme park. It's definitely worth going to experience it, to try all the rides, just to be there. It's a great place. So for people who have this as their home park, good for you, man. You guys got a good home park. It's really fun. So overall, I think I'd give Carowinds like a, let's see, if I had a theme park tier list, it'd be in the A tier. I don't know. Let's just pretend there's a, you know what? I'm gonna edit in like a little tier list here of all the parks I've gone to. Put it on top of my pen here. Bing. All right, so over here you got my theme park tier list, and it's in the A tier, and it deserves it. You know what I mean? Fantastic. Now, of course, there's ways we can make Carowinds better. Will I do a video on that? If I'm in the mood. That's what I'll do, a video on that. But overall, fantastic park. A tier. Great stuff. So, I hope you enjoyed the vlog today. I don't know when my next theme park adventure is gonna be, but I hope to do more of these going forward. Because, I mean, especially a channel called Smooth Travels, you would expect to see me, travel more, right? And not only that, I actually enjoy doing the vlog content so much more than all of those video edits that you see me do. That's why like I only release like one a month now. It takes so much time and effort. But doing this, getting to ride coasters and getting to actually do this shit for real, like, it's fun. I have a ton of fun with this. So, until the next journey, until the next whatever I choose to do, my name's Smooth, and I wish you all nothing but smooth travels. Take it easy, y'all.